Yo, 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 how we doing today? It's your boy D. We back for another one. As you know, it's D's Daily DD. And before we start the video, not a financial advisor. This is not financial advice. This is just on my thoughts, my opinions. All right, so don't take it for financial advice. Take it for educational and entertainment purposes only. And first off, I want to start off with many thank yous because I really appreciate the new subscribers. We're growing the channel. With that DD that I looked into, this past couple week with the threshold list, I think people really, grasped it and enjoyed the information. And that's my goal, right? We're here to teach, to learn, to educate ourselves, because in my opinion, that is the worst mistake the short sellers and the powers that be, the big market makers and all that that hold these short positions and all these meme stocks. That is their worst mistake, that they let us learn as we went along. And now that information that I can pass on to people, right, it doesn't have a price tag on it, because once you learn and you understand, knowledge is power. And that's why I always try to give now, because I see the value in giving, because you actually get more back, right? For me, this channel I enjoy, like I've told you guys before, I love doing this. It gives me, some motivation and some drive every day. And that's why I keep coming back to y'all, and I love y'all. I appreciate y'all, every single subscriber, guys. And yeah, I got some more information. I know a lot of you are like, oh man, what happened? Ape came off the threshold list. What does this mean now? What's next? Is it over? I know there's that anxiety, but I'm gonna break it down to you, and why I'm still cool, calm, and collected, because my emotions are not tied to AMC. Most days I expect AMC to be red. I mean, that's just how it is. I've looked into it. I've explained it. AMC has more red days than green days, and Ape, right? I mean, it's one company. It's, at the end of the day, AMC owns both. But today, it was a powerful green day for both. If you put them together, it was up about 18 to 20%. AMC was up like 12%, and Ape was up 6-7% at the time of this recording. So yeah, guys, I'm going to jump into the information. I'm gonna, just do a recap. I know this week was a lot, and to be honest, I'm pretty tired right now. It was busy at work yesterday too. So I'm just gonna try to explain this quick and easy, because I know it's Friday. A lot of you'll probably have some plans for later, for the weekend. Let's get it. But I'm gonna prove to you right now, there is something extremely wrong, right? We still know that there is something wrong with AMC and Ape, and how the dividend was issued, and what's going on. This is from Webull, right? And you have AMC on the left, and you have the breakdown of the stockholders. So according to this, institutions own 28.47, and retail others own 71% of the shares. Now you go to Ape, and it shows others, retail owns 95.26%, and institutions only own 4.74%. How is that possible if it was supposed to be a 1-for-1? So these numbers, from my understanding and everything, should have been exactly the same. Why is it that on Ape we own 95%? So in my opinion, somebody is holding fake shares, and this is the proof right here. You could see it in broad daylight, So I want to start off with that. Now, I know a lot of people are going to be interested in the threshold list information, and I'm gonna break this down. All right, what happened with Ape and the threshold list? Shorts and the brokers found help, right? Because if they transferred the positions, or they found like securities to use as collateral, basically, then it removes them off the threshold list, because they were able to settle the shares according to the rules and the information. Now, the reason it's off the threshold list is because it didn't meet the requirements for 5 consecutive days. I'm gonna load a little picture here to show you guys the rules and why it got taken off the threshold list. Or they started buying and are going to start buying. These are the 3 ways, in my opinion, that they got off the threshold list. And you did see 6-7%, but I don't think that's enough. And the volume was okay. It wasn't crazy. I think if they were to start covering, or about to start covering, those FTDs, we're gonna see a pretty good spike in volume and price, of course. Now, the formula is not invalidated yet. My formula, right? The threshold list does not cause the squeezes, in my opinion, in my perspective, because the threshold list is used it's not for the public, it's for the regulators more, right? We can look at it, but the reason it's there, it's more for the regulators. So the formula is not invalidated, and I'm going to explain this. So ape is on the lists and was on the list from August 31st until September 7th. That was a total of 5 trading days that it was actually on the list. T plus 35 for FTDs is on 10/5. And then, so will ape start running on 10/6 question mark, right? I don't know that information yet. Only time will tell. It's not that, I want to give you a date or anything like that. I know that's not the point, but that's just how the math lines up for this formula. Okay, we go down. Another example I didn't show you guys yesterday that it works again is when AMC had 9.6 million FTDs on June 28th, 2022. That was the date that they created those 9.6 million FTDs. The T plus 35 date was on August 2nd. This was pre-split, pre-dividend. And the AMC price went from $13 to $27.50, and then it got halted at $27.50. That was a couple weeks ago, and then it started coming back down, and then the dividend was issued, and that's what happened during these dates. So from the 2nd to the 8th, you had that run up, and in my opinion, it was because of the FTDs. Now, something that kind of clicked in my head yesterday when I looked at the chart and I started looking at those spikes that we get, it seems to me that the bad actors right now are playing a back and forth game with T plus 35 cycles, and that's how they're trying to make money. They're squeezing it up, right, and then they ride it back down with the options chain. They're trying to make money as it goes up and down, up and down. But there will be a day, there will be a point where that's why there needs to be extreme market volatility and extreme market conditions, because if the price starts going past their expectancy of like what they could make or lose, and it breaks out, like I think it would, just from the past action, I think above $35, 37, 38, anything like that on AMC would cause a huge breakout, and we could see possibly all-time highs, because that's what happens when it breaks out of their range, that they expect, and then that's how things get crazy, because they're scrambling. But now today, hey, it's Friday, it's a pretty green day, guys. I'm okay with it. You always have to remember that you have to add your AMC and your ape to get the total value. So today, give or take, at the time when I was writing this down, it was around 956. I think it closed a little bit higher, and 535 per share. That was about a 10% gain for AMC, and then you had about a 5%, to 7% gain on ape. And then we add that together, that's about a 15% green day, which is okay. And then you have the total price at $14.91. We have been here many times before, guys. That's what you have to remember, because people get psyched out on the AMC price that is at $9.50, but you have to account for all of it. And then just the last little point here on this is, remember that AMC has $100 million that they are looking to invest. He hasn't said for what, Adam Aaron, he just said that he has that in his back pocket, and you just don't know what he's going to do with it. So let's just jump into a couple things here. So these are the 3 ways, right, that a security can get off the threshold list or on the threshold list. The aggregate failed to deliver position is 10,000 shares or more for 5 consecutive settlement days, and such position represents 0.5% or more of the issuer's outstanding shares. A broker-dealer who has failed to deliver a threshold security at a clearing firm for 13 consecutive settlement days must immediately close out the position by buying securities of like and quantity. A broker-dealer where they failed to deliver is on the threshold list for 13 consecutive dates may not accept an order to sell the security short from another person, and may not sell the security in its own account without having located the security until the failed delivery has been closed out. So if it would have stayed, as far as APE, if it would have stayed for 13 days or more, then it would not be allowed to be shorted. That was what I got from that. And if you really want a lot of details, I'll put this link in the video description today, down below. And if you want to really get into something to read, this has all the information about the threshold list. Then we're going to go to the chart. You have a nice green bar. This is AMC. All I really see here, right, is the macro trend line from up here. It's in that part where it found the support that it needed to at about $7.90 to $8, and it bounced off, and now we're hopefully going to get this reversal. And there is indicators, everything's pointing that we're going to start making our move up, because you're getting, the red is exhausted here, the sellers. So you should start to see this curl up, because it's all cycles, remember. Then you come back down, the RSI, it's in the middle. What's it at? 40, 47 right now. It's right in the middle. That's good. It's getting ready. OBV, the money went out. Now it's starting to curl back up. So that's what that's indicating. The money's starting to come back in. Just last little thing I want to point out, right? It was the fact that this little peak, boom, explodes. Come here, comes down. I don't know. I can't promise you. Make your own decisions, like I always say, with your money. But it looks like we're gonna start to get ready to move up. And then the major resistance I'm looking at now is $23 after the adjusted prices. But if it can break that, then you would get a technical breakout, and then who knows, it could of course go way up. Now if it comes up to about $10, $11, and it gets rejected, then we're probably going to come back down and see, lower prices. That's if you're bearish. Next, this is real quick, just real simple. This is going to be ape, and I threw the Fibonacci extension on there because once you have a high and a low, it's going to give you an estimate of the technical prices, which is what hedge funds like to use in most cases, professional traders. And it's saying the peak would be around $28 if it was to explode up. It would be pretty hard to break this resistance, but you would need a lot of volume, a lot of action, volatility in order to see that breakout. But right now we're in the bottom channel of the Fibonacci. We'll see if we can start to come test this area. All right, real quick, here's the proof, right? When AMC had on June 28th the 9.7 million fails to deliver, and then on the 2nd and the 3rd is when you started to see the price movement of them covering the FTDs. Here we go. So ape, it's interesting, right? For a while it didn't short it, didn't touch it. Maybe those were the days that they weren't allowed to short. I don't know, right? Could be, but then all of a sudden they started borrowing the shares. As you can see, there was shares that were shorted today from 10 million down to 6.5 million, and it doesn't make sense because the cost keeps going down, and it seems like they're just doing the wash, right? But let me show you real quick on AMC. We do have them at 19.5% and only 65,000 shares, which they shorted a lot of shares today. And in order, I think that was in order to suppress the price because it was up 12%. I think at the peak it was up like 14%. And yeah, here's the proof, right? It's no longer, as far as ape, they got taken off the list on the 8th and it didn't show up. And then I'm gonna wrap this up here, but in business, a seller, this is what affects, the chain reaction with the FTDs. And you can kind of think of it in this way. In business, a seller may pre-sell an item that they do not have yet in their possession. Often this will be due to delayed shipment from the supplier. When it comes time for the seller to deliver to the buyer, they can't fulfill the order because the supplier was late. The buyer may cancel the order, leaving the seller with a lost sale, useless inventory, and the need to deal with the tardy supplier. Meanwhile, the buyer will not have what they need. Remedies include the seller going into the market to buy the desired goods at what may be higher prices. And here we go. So for AMC, shorts are still there, guys. Here's the proof. 196 million shares on loan. Cost to borrow on Ortex is about 23, with the max at 30.58. For ape, this is what's very interesting to me, very peculiar, very weird, that they have been able to get the shares on loan down and the estimated short interest, but we barely see any price movement to the upside today, and it wasn't even like anything too crazy. And the cost to borrow has been going down right now. Here we go, another more proof. It's at 19.5%, and the ETFs are gone. And when they do disappear off of this, that means that they used all the shares in the ETFs already. There's no more in the ETFs to short AMC with that are that they're able to locate. And I always like just going on Twitter just to see what's going on. Y'all know who that is. And yeah, I mean, it's always interesting. Let's see. Must have updated. But yeah, so ape has now fallen off the threshold list as of 7 a.m. on a broker. And is that it? I think that's about it, guys. Yeah, nothing too important. People, always talking on here. Okay, here we go. I wanted to read this one. AMC is legendary. 7 months with 100% utilization, and shares on loan went from 130 to 190 million, back to 130, and back to 195 million with a supposed 100% utilization. One of the most manipulated stocks of all time. All right, guys, that's it. Let's close it up. Hope you guys, have some plans for the weekend and don't necessarily focus all your energy on the market because it will be closed over the weekend, but at least it's not a 3 day weekend how we had with Labor Day. That seemed like it took forever. It was a long weekend. But yeah, guys, I'll catch you guys in the next video. Hope you enjoyed it. Smash that like button, give me that like button, leave me a comment, your thoughts. Let me know if you're anxious or worried about the threshold list and what happened, but hopefully you understand that's not, what I think causes the squeezes. But yeah, you guys could do your own DD as always, make your own decisions, and peace out.